Our law firm is still accepting new cases from victims who have been injured and suffered from defective hernia mesh implants. This video discusses how these claims work and what you might expect in a hernia mesh settlement. The hernia mesh manufacturers, in a rush to make profit, have caused harm to so many people. Thousands of hernia mesh lawsuits are currently pending against different medical device manufacturers. If you have a potential claim, you really need to call a lawyer today to make sure you preserve your rights. There are statute of limitations issues that apply to these claims. A hernia mesh is a small medical implant that is widely used in hernia repair surgeries. It's basically a small mesh or net that's surgically implanted inside the body to act as a scaffold support for muscles and tissues to grow around. Unfortunately, thousands of hernia mesh products implanted in patients over the last 10 to 15 years were defective and are causing serious injuries and even death. Hernia mesh products must be constructed with special biologically inert materials that can safely exist inside the human body. The problem with the defective hernia mesh devices is that they were made out of materials that were not biologically inert. Once inside the body, the patient's immune system attacked the mesh as a foreign object, causing inflammation and a number of major complications such as improper healing, scar tissue, fluid pockets, and internal infections. Patients suffering these complications often required further surgery and suffered various injuries and sometimes even fatalities as a result. Our lawyers get calls every day from hernia mesh victims looking to file a lawsuit. Individuals injured by defective hernia mesh products may be entitled to financial compensation. Again, thousands have already filed lawsuits against various manufacturers. Several class action MDLs have already been created to consolidate the pending hernia mesh cases. If you've been injured and suffered as a result of a hernia mesh product that was not designed safely, you naturally want to know the settlement value of your hernia mesh claim. This is a hard question to answer because the injuries in these cases vary so significantly. Our lawyers think the likely settlement compensation payouts in hernia mesh cases will be somewhere between $50,000 and $1 million. That is obviously a big range, but it really depends on how serious your injuries are and how the upcoming trials go for the victims. The first round of bellwether test trials are coming up this summer in the hernia mesh litigation, and the results of these cases could have a major impact on the settlement compensation payouts for hernia mesh cases going forward. The next question you might have is when you can expect a settlement. It could be sooner rather than later. Again, we have big hernia mesh test trials coming up in July and August of this year. The hernia mesh manufacturers are bleeding money on these cases and litigation costs, and they're seeing settlement value rising instead of falling. So it's not unreasonable hope that these cases will reach a global class action settlement before these trials or shortly after the juries reach a verdict. If you were injured by a defective hernia mesh implant, you have the right to receive financial compensation, and it's not too late to file your case. Call our office today at 800-553-8082 for a free consultation.